situated in a remote, bitter cold location in Siberia, exists one of the most strangest and mystery-shrouded lakes on this planet. Aside from this mystery, Lake Baikal is the oldest freshwater lake on planet Earth, whereas something like the Great Lakes here in the United States are known to be around 15,000 years old. Lake Baikal is anywhere between 25 and 30 million years old. It is also the biggest and the deepest freshwater lake on this planet, and for years now, strange occurrences have been happening within it and around it. On April 23, 2009, the International Space Station had just happened to be passing over Siberia, and from 220 miles up, astronauts began snapping photographs of this massive frozen lake. And what they observed was a very strange, darkened, circular area of thinned ice at the southern end of the lake. This was, of course, strange for a couple reasons, the first of which is that Siberia is very remote and very cold, and the ice cover on top of the lake can persist into the summer months of June and July. The image you're seeing here, taken by one of the astronauts, shows this darkened circle, which is actually ice that has been thinned out or melted by something in the waters below. You can also see the ice around the circle beginning to crack and move apart. Another strange thing was the circle's size. When measured, it came to nearly 3 miles from end to end, and was the focal point for the ice breakup at the very southern end of the lake. After the images were sent down to Earth from the International Space Station, astronaut Mike Barrett tried to make sense of it along with other scientists and researchers. The question of how, who, or what could have created a 3-mile-long heat ring of melted ice in such a freezing cold lake intrigued all of those who looked into this case. So astronauts and scientists then looked at some older images taken by the MODIS satellite, and what they found was that Lake Baikal contained another very similar circle near the center of the lake, noticed on April 5, 2009. Similar strange circular ice patterns have been detected, although not nearly as distinct, have been documented in the same central area of the lake as far as back as in April of 1994 during the STS-59 shuttle mission, and in 1985 during the STS-51B shuttle mission. And while the origin of these circles is unknown, it has been said that the peculiar pattern suggests a convection upwelling in the lake's water column, which means that, by some way, warm water had risen to the top of the cold water, in turn melting the ice in this strange circular pattern, causing it to weaken and then crack. So what can cause this convection, or the bringing of warmer waters to the surface? Well, that's when things get a little bit stranger. Hydrothermal activity, or that of methane releases, had been detected and observed in other parts of the lake, more towards the center of the lake where the ice is much thinner. However, the location of this newest ice circle, snapped by the astronauts near the southern tip of the lake, where the ice is at its thickest and the water is at its deepest and coldest point, was very puzzling. At one point, there was a question of whether this could have been brought on by volcanic activity, and that there was some deep underwater volcano causing it. However, there has never been a shroud of evidence that any volcanic activity has ever existed in this lake. So this still begs the question, which is that what could have been hot enough that could have melted through 4 feet of solid ice here at the southern tip of the lake, where the water is at its coldest and deepest? I don't have to tell you that the amount of methane needed to create such a massive 3-mile-long circular melting ring would have had to been massive. Which again brings up problems because they've never detected such an amount of methane in this lake. Now, because this lake is the oldest on Earth, about 25 to 30 million years old, it has a surprisingly thick layer of sediment. Whereas normal lakes have anywhere from 10 to 15 meters of sediment, the sediment layers of Lake Baikal are upwards of 5 miles deep. For millions of years, the lake has been teeming with aquatic life, And over these millions of years, all of those life forms have at one time or another died, all of them floating to the bottom of the lake and adding to this thick layer of sediment. So for years, scientists were baffled about this. And while some have come out publicly and pushed forth the theory of methane gases as the creator of these rings, once you realize the location of where these rings have been found, many times changing from year to year, we are presented with many puzzling questions, and the theories simply don't hold up. What many may not know is that Lake Baikal has also been shrouded in another type of mystery, mysterious UFO sightings that have been occurring there as far back as anyone can remember. Declassified files on the Russian Navy's encounters with UFOs have suggested that many of the objects sighted over this area have come from the lake itself. A number of incidents were reported at Lake Baikal, including those of powerful lights and objects coming out from the icy waters. In one 1982 case, military divers at the lake said that they had spotted a group of humanoid creatures dressed in silver suits at a depth of about 50 meters. They tried to catch the visitors, but 3 of the men died in the process, while 4 others were severely injured in the incident. Other records indicate that there were incidents that not only included the sighting of humanoid figures beneath the water, but also unidentified glowing vehicles that, according to one former Navy officer by the name of Vladimir Azaza, stated were, and I quote, moving much too fast to be Navy vessels. He is further quoted as saying, 50% of UFO encounters are connected with oceans, 15 more with lakes. It is my experience that UFOs tend to stick with the water. To this day, the mysterious occurrences surrounding Lake Baikal have yet to be solved, not even close in fact. And with the sightings of these mysterious craft underneath the lake, many believe that these strange dark rings that have been melted into these thick slabs of ice from below were actually created by one of these vehicles. The sheer size of these ice rings, not to mention their locations on the lake, have and continue to baffle scientists. We can only theorize as to just what it was under these icy, deep waters that emanated such a heat source as to create these anomalous, icy indentations. On a side note, if you'll remember in past videos, we have spoken about a science fiction film by the name of the Europa Report. In the film, which takes on the form of found footage, a group of astronauts board a spacecraft that journeys out to the icy moon of Jupiter called Europa. Now, for those of you who don't know, Europa is one of the best candidates in our solar system to potentially hold alien life. Scientists believe there to be a massive underwater ocean located under its icy outer shelves, and in that ocean, alien life is believed to exist. In the film, the astronauts actually land on the surface and quickly start detecting a heat source moving around underneath the ice. At some points, this large heat source comes very close to the surface, in turn heating the ice and causing it to crack. And it's from this film that I can only draw a very close comparison to what we are seeing in Lake Baikal. And it really does make you wonder. So let me know what you guys think. Be sure to share this video and drop me a like on your way out. I'd really appreciate it. And stay tuned because I've got a lot more coming, and I'll see you guys back here in just a bit. Stay safe, guys.